sir.
Moving on.
Yes, we're going to move
Moving
on to the last Black Swan. Would you like to introduce it?
Dun, 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 dun. And a new number one. We've got the Black Swan. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. The distance to horizon in the Black Swan image is way beyond 10 miles when it should be around 1.2. Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere. Dun, 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 dun.
The base of this argument is the horizon. It's the critical foundation. Horizon. Here's a number of definitions. Let's go through them quickly. From their alma mater wiki. Horizon is the apparent line that separates the Earth from sky. Horizon, Merriam-Webster, the line where the Earth seems to meet the sky. The apparent junction of Earth and sky sailing toward the horizon. From Oxford Dictionaries, horizon. The line at which the Earth's surface and sky appear to meet. Pretty simple, consolidated definition. We'll get a couple more here, just to drive the point home. From the US DoD, horizon. In general, the apparent or visible junction of the Earth and sky, as seen from any specific position. Also called the apparent, visible, or local horizon. What's the local horizon? Pray tell. From National Geographic, the local horizon, also called the geometrical horizon, is the visible boundary between the Earth and sky. So, the geometrical horizon is apparent and visible because it's the local horizon. The local horizon is the geometric horizon. See how I did that? Why is it apparent or not actually? Well, the biggest reason is, does the sky actually meet the Earth or the sea? Actually, no. It only appears to do so, making the horizon apparent by definition. And number two, the geometric horizon is also apparent because it changes with the observer's height. Simple. What can obstruct or obfuscate or obscure the geometric horizon, you might ask? Weather, atmospheric conditions, waves, tides, etc. The geometric horizon, however, can never be more than, very important point, 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It can be closer than that due to the conditions I just mentioned, but it can never be further. Like I just said, however, on the ball-tarred ball, the geometrical horizon can be no more than what its geometric constraints allow. Very simple. It's based on, like I said, the observer's height, and in this particular case, the radius that's given to us. So let's take a look at Andrew Thomas Young, the subject matter expert, San Diego State University. If h is in meters, that makes the distance to the geometric horizon 3.57 kilometers times the square root of the height of the eye in meters, or about 1.23 miles times the square root of the eye height in feet. So just to make sure that the subject matter expert, Andrew Thomas Young, hasn't cornered the market on simple, well-done geometry, we'll go to the University of Washington. So for all practical purposes, we can estimate the distance to the horizon using 1.22459 times the square root of h, or perhaps even more simply as just 1.2 times the square root of h, which gives the distance in miles when h is in feet. We good? The death of the ball-tarred spinning space monkey religion. Again. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the geometric horizon. This is the Black Swan photo. Now, I don't care about the oil platforms other than to use these to demarcate distance. That's all we need them for. I don't care if we got Chinese Superman in red tutus riding hobbled unicorns being refracted off any of the booms, or these things doing friggin' somersaults, right? Doesn't matter, because I could care less. All I'm concerned with is this horizon back here. That is the argument. It is the only argument. Tracking? Observer's height is 1 foot. The distance to the horizon, according to the formula above, can be no more than 1.22 miles away. However, the distance to the horizon here, it's greater than 9.41 miles. As you can see, it is behind platform habitat at 9.41 miles. And make no mistake, just because I gave them 5 feet, that was just to get by their train wreck, last port in the storm argument to get us in the weeds about what his height was. If you watch the video, it's clear he's about 1 foot. He could even be less, but I gave them 5 feet. But actually, he's at 1 foot. But even with 5 feet observer height, the maximum distance to the geometric horizon would be 2.73 miles. Folks, 2.73 miles isn't even in this photo. You got big problems. This is the end right here. Even if he was at 35 feet standing next to the shore, which is non sequitur, the maximum distance to the geometric horizon would be 7.24 miles. 7.24 miles is in between Platform Hill House and Platform Habitat. Even at 35-foot observation height. The actual argument. It's a modus tollens. Holy shnikes. This is going to leave a mark. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, Q. The geometric horizon here is not Q because it's greater than 9.41 miles in the Black Swan photo, therefore not P. The Earth is not a sphere. Ball-tard spinning space monkey community, please allow me to introduce to you again your Black Plague, the Black Swan. There she is. Isn't she a beaut? Questions, comments?
Because this is a top 3 show, I want to go through the fact that this is a demolition of the ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. Obviously, at number 3, we've got Coriolis destroying the fact that we don't spin. Or destroying the fact that we spin. Yeah, more like it. Part 2 is destroying the fact that we don't have a sky vacuum. Earth is a pressurized system, claimed to be in a sky vacuum, debunked. Can't have gas pressure without a container. And the icing on the cake, the reason it's the new number 1, the basic premise of the heliocentric spinning ball space monkey religion is that you're on a ball and they no longer have a geometric horizon. It's absolutely epic. Their claim from the ground is that we see the sphericity of Earth based on the mathematics given to us in their geometry. And now with a hand wave, we're told we do not see the geometric horizon. Yeah, well, you'll need to if you're going to be claiming Earth's a sphere with geometry. And you won't be anymore because Earth isn't a sphere. It's obviously and observably flat. These top 3 are all you need to demolish any claim that the Earth is a sphere. Epic. Thank you very much, Quantum Eraser.
You're welcome, sir. Arwen.
Yes, so what do you do when they say, but the geometric horizon is just being refracted, so you get to see the apparent horizon, but the geometric horizon is just hidden and bent all into that. What do you say when a baller says that? Because they do these days, you know? That's a
How many
question.
horizons do we have?
Well, according to them, 2. and one is invisible.
Well,
Okay,
that's the problem right
okay,
there, right?
let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. So the horizon at 2.73 miles, which is before this photo right here, it's not even in the photo. So what you're saying is this magical refraction, which they don't even know what it is, this magical refraction is taking the geometric horizon, which really isn't horizon because it's not the boundary or the apparent boundary where the Earth meets the sky. Having said that, but so what they're saying is they're taking this horizon and refracting it 10 times further than it should be. And then that position is being shown back to us. Is that where we're going here?
Yes, it's also has gotten this popular term of super mega looming.
Oh, looming. And what's the definition of looming again?
Guarding the object's relative position to the horizon.
Right, that's the one.
That's not looming. What you just said is not looming. The horizon doesn't loom above the horizon, so that's incorrect.
But couldn't the geometric horizon loom above or below the horizon?
That's not looming. And above it.
It would be
Wait a second. Wait a
the
second.
apparent-
Wait a second. He said above it. I said beyond. Is there a difference between the word above and beyond?
Isn't that a science fiction series? Hold on.
Hold on, I want to hear chocolate. Say what you were going to say. I know what you were going to say.
It would be the appearance of an object above the horizon that would usually be below it. So the horizon can't appear above itself.
This is what probably the
I thought you were going to say. Sorry, just 1 second. Whoever's talking. Sorry to interrupt. That's not what I thought you were going to say. So Arwen's saying, can the geometric horizon loom above itself to create a new position, a refracted horizon? So kind of intimating that you've only got one horizon, but then you've got the original horizon it's based on no longer being a horizon. So a horizon is a demarcation, an apparent position between ground and sky or water and sky. Well, if you've got something looming above a geometric horizon, then the geometric horizon doesn't exist anymore as a horizon because it's not a horizon. It's still a horizon in the model, though, marked with an X labeled horizon required by the geometry based on R, but it just doesn't exist in reality at that point because we only have one horizon.
Which is weird because we are currently being told that the geometric horizon is the horizon you wouldn't expect to see. That would go against the definition of it being a horizon. Like you're
That's what I thought
supposed
you
to
were
see it.
Exactly what I thought you were going to say, Chocolate. It goes against the definition of a horizon. As soon as you loom it, number one, you've no longer got geometry for it. You're describing your view to it being refracted, deviated from straight, not geometric. So therefore, not geometric, and you haven't got one. And when you say, well, no, the one we see is based on that horizon that is well, no, it's not a horizon anymore. The definition of a horizon would be the visible demarcation point between the earth and sky where it appears to meet. Well, you've got to see it. It's not a position that you don't see and claim the other position's based on, because that violates the definition of a horizon. It's not a horizon anymore.
Well, maybe we could then rename it into a virtual horizon. The virtual geometric
or the
horizon.
geometric
I think that would fit
thingamajig.
technically better.
The geometric thingamajiggy.
Yeah, well, that's
not a
great.
horizon.
Thanks. Is that the white paper technical term?
Yeah, that's the spinning ball space monkey religion term. Because it can't be a horizon. Because a horizon is something you would see. So I don't know how people like Kosho will say it's something that you don't expect to see when it's defined as something you see. You see?
You see? Yeah,
Well, you
thanks for
don't
that.
see.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't see.
All right, Kaiser Soze.
What the hell do you want?
It's almost like Betty. What?
What's up? What's up, man?
What's up, man? What you think of the Black Swan? I don't think we ever got your take on that.
Man, I just think it's a racist reference, man.
It's racist.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No. I talked to you about this yesterday. If you look at the time and date of videos that were posted after you started using this as a reference in your show, there's at least a half a dozen other YouTube channels out there who actually use this term and the way you're using it in other videos, and that's just wrong. That's just wrong, man. I mean, it is wrong, but it's funny because it just tells you that they're really listening. It may be showing 140 watching right now, but I think that they may be doing something clandestinely, where the numbers just don't seem right at all, or someone's playing double or triple agent. But look, John, I'm done with arguing the shape of the Earth. I want to know. Okay, I'm just focused on what the hell is really going on around me. Let me figure that out first. I don't care if it's shaped like a banana, a cucumber, a watermelon. I don't care, because until they can send something straight vertical, 90 degrees at max altitude, I don't care how big it's got to be. And you literally put cameras all the way around, put them like 6 inches or 8 inches apart around the tube of that thing. Just let it launch and let me down onto the Earth. That's the only way we're going to be able to determine if this is some expanding sort of containerized disk situation or what the shape is. Because I'm continuing to look at the videos from NASA, and I'm not looking at them to look for any kind of
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. No, hold on a second. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, flat is not a shape; it's an aspect of something. And number two, hold on.
Go ahead.
Number two, the Black Swan photo. If you by Pythagorean form, the formula, right? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That or the horizon that you see behind those platforms, you can calculate the radius from that. So the Black Swan photo shows clearly that horizon is greater than 10 miles. I'm just going to use 10 miles, right? With a horizon at 10 miles, the radius of the Earth must be 264,000 miles.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to follow up to say is that I don't think it's my vision deteriorating on me. It's actually getting sharper, I believe. And I'm convinced of it. Because when I'm looking at these videos from space, of them showing
from space.
No, I don't. Well, from flying, okay. I don't care what they're on, but maybe they're speeding the video up. But the videos that they're showing from high altitude, giving the rest of the world the appearance that we live on some spirit arc-shaped platform. When you look at the dark part of the video, at the very top, I swear to you, there's a few videos I have that I've got some of the software I'm using to analyze them, and I could swear that I could see where literally that video looked like someone shot it from inside another environment where they were looking out of a circular window, and that's how they're shooting the video.
Well, yeah.
But because I thought I can't find the video now, I'm still searching. But there was a video where I could see a glimpse where someone forgot to completely black out and shade it to make it look like they were going from nighttime to daytime.
Yeah.
See a land.
I got you. What about the Black Swan?
The only way this to the Black Swan, Robert, is that when they show you those images from space, those images with the curved edge, Well, that curved edge that they're showing you is claimed to be a physical geometric sphere edge. That's what their horizon is.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this Black Swan argument debunks the horizon as being a physical sphere edge.
Yeah,
It's a wrap.
yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not arguing the Black Swan, man. I'm just not. When I heard it for the first time and I listened to it, I'll admit I had to listen to it 3 times. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't get this the first time. Let me listen to this again without the alcohol. And I listened to it again without the alcohol. You know, and I'm like, okay, no, I need to take another drink. So I took another drink, and I'm like, okay, all right, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, but that for me, you know, I usually get it the first time, but I did. I got it the third time, and you know, I can't comment on it. I really can't comment on it at all because when I started stumbling across other half a dozen other videos actually referencing it, I'm like, yeah, they're not mentioning the show, but I know where they got this from. Now, because you're starting to hear other people explain it differently, but really what they're doing is just rewording what you said. That's
Right.
all they've done. That's like saying, you know, that's like saying, yeah, all swans are white, but hey, 10 years from now, we're gonna see a blue one. Oh shit, then all swans are not white, they're blue. Oh, in this case, you're saying, hey, this is mine. I own this. Here goes the proof. You know,
Yes, sir.
and I'm glad I taught you well. You know, you still following the model. I'm glad I taught you well because you're still following the model. It's not what you know; it's what you can prove. And you, John, you and I both know it's all been about proof. You're providing the proof. You're backing it up. You're giving the illustrations. Look, if PhDs want to come on your show, please invite me for breakfast because I've had some damn good ham and cheese PhD sandwiches, man, and they're delicious. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been eating PhDs for breakfast as well. I got when I have 4 PhDs telling me, and I'm still in graduate school, telling me stop wasting your time on the graduate level, get your PhD. I'm like, and I told my last professor, why would I do that? You're basically telling me I know more than you. You're telling me stop wasting my time on the grad. I'm just doing this just for informational purposes. I want to have access to information.
Right.
You know, everyone can.
Yep.
But now I can go online directly and I can download shit from Science Direct.
Yep.
Whereas an average person who don't have access wouldn't be able to get online and get that information.
Right.
I enter a university email address and bam, I'm pulling up the info. As you're talking about stuff, I'm literally pulling stuff up on Science Direct that literally I'd like to talk to you about, 2-3 weeks from now. Because if these PhDs, what they don't want to do, the ones that do it and say they have a PhD and they want to debate you, oh my God, dude, your career is over with. They're gonna take it away from you. They're gonna ban you from ever publishing anything, even in a comic book. but the ones who dare come on and says, yeah, I'm not understand this. I don't understand. Okay, then educate me. Help get me to understand what you understand, and then I'll break it down for you and tell you what you just told to me is bullshit.
They ain't gonna come on here, Robert. They ain't gonna come on here. Their ass will be in a sling.
They're suffering from Nietzsche syndrome. They don't want to know the truth, to have their illusions to be destroyed. They don't want to be told in public for the whole world to hear they spent 15, 20 years in school and doing research and wasted 200, 300,000 to find out, holy crap, I've learned the wrong thing.
You got it.
They don't want to do that.
You got it. Yep, exactly. Yes,
they
sir.
don't want to do that.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, bring them on. Bring on the PhDs. I'm bringing the sandwich spread and the 6-pack of whoop ass to go with it. Have a drink.
Thanks, man. I taught you well. Moose Tone.
Hey, and you know what? You finally put a window in that closet. You were looking out the window. So that's great that you finally upgraded and put.
Shut up, Moose Tone. Hold on 1 second, Rob. Moose Tone. Anything?
So, I'm on.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, just one comment. I just thought it was slightly not exactly in good faith to say, the argument about the definition of the horizon, of the geometric horizon, because I think, if you just revert to describing it as Nathan used to do it initially, the edge, then you clarify. There's the edge, and then there's the horizon, which is what we see. You see what I mean?
No, I don't. I gave you the definitions of horizon from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sources. That's the definition.
Yeah, but
Right. It's
I
anonymous.
see. But if you say, oh, well, the geometric horizon, this horizon we don't see, well, it's inconsistent with the definition.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
No,
You didn't say that. No, not you.
No.
Others said that.
Yeah.
I think maybe Chocolate or others said that. The problem I see with that is, okay, I mean, this seems to be semantics. Whereas,
no, it's not. They're just
define
being
it as
devil.
an edge.
No, hold on a second. They were just being devil's advocate. They weren't saying that.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't saying that. They weren't
Yeah,
trying to be. They weren't trying to be sly about it.
Yeah.
They're kind of making fun of it.
No, I see,
Yeah,
but
it's the
perhaps in the
Bulbers.
debate, if you say edge, well, it sort of clarifies it.
No,
The
you have to
geometry on the
use.
edge.
Hold on a second, Chocolate. No, you have to define the horizon by definition, not what you make up. Now, you might consider it an edge, and that's fine. But when you're arguing a point, a specific point, that we get real specific. Specificity is needed. We need to define it so we can communicate with each other, right?
Right. The
Okay.
sphere edge is it's a more descriptive way to approach it. It's not technical, really.
But go ahead. I wasn't catching your point. Go ahead, Moostone. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Look, yeah, it's just at some point we can't just sort of revert and say, oh no, wait, no. Well, it's you say it's a geometric horizon. We can't see it. Well, that's absurd within the definition.
Correct.
Well, wait a minute. We were saying, we were describing it, talking about it in the context as if it were an edge. So is this really is this really in good faith that you're saying that? That's
Yeah.
my point.
Oh, is it really in good faith that who's saying what?
That we are saying, well, oh no, that's inconsistent with the definition.
Yes,
Because if in that context you're talking about an edge, well,
but you're going every which way here. Listen, the definition's the definition. The local horizon or the geometrical horizon is the visible boundary between the earth and the sky. Period. End of story.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Hold on. Let me try and clarify this. So when Quantum Eraser went through all the different definitions of horizon, they all tie back to the geometric horizon. Obviously, the rhetoric is globe. So their horizon in the globe model is the singular geometric horizon. Now, what is a geometric horizon? Well, when you're describing it with more specific geometric terms, it's the tangent point that you're describing when you're describing the horizon. Well, the tangent point is the edge that obscures things in the distance with a qualifiable amount in their geometry. It is definitely the edge, and that's defined within the word geometric. And their horizon is a singular geometric horizon. So it's not unfair to say your horizon, the point that we see in the distance, is a geometric sphere edge, because that's what a geometric horizon is, and it's defined exactly as that.
Okay, but I mean, in theory, you could have an edge. I mean, it's not impossible that you could have an edge and a visible horizon that is inconsistent with that edge. You see what I mean? So it's not completely impossible, is it?
Well,
it's just that no one's
you
ever
also-
seen it.
You
I mean,
also
that's
gotta
not.
remember.
let me just answer him. Hold on. So, no, it is. So you're saying that the horizon we see...
We've
is
never seen it. I mean, it doesn't happen, but it could
Hold
happen.
on a second,
it's not
Moose Tone.
theoretically impossible.
Hold on a
No,
second, Moose
optics
Tone.
don't work that
Hold
way.
on. No. Let Nathan respond, please. Thank you.
You're saying the horizon that we see is refracted. It's not the light directly from the geometric horizon, but the light's been refracted so that we see a singular apparent horizon in a different location. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's not. It could be. I'm not. It's not impossible, is it?
Okay, yeah. And I'm saying at that point, what we would have in actuality would be light that is refracted.
Hmm. Yes.
So not geometric then.
Correct.
That's the problem, by the way.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Their horizon is geometric. It's marked with an X labeled horizon and absolutely, and by definition, geometric. But you're
Okay,
saying no, we can have a second horizon that's refracted? That's their argument, right? We do have the geometric horizon. It's the physical sphere edge horizon in our model. But what we're seeing isn't that, it's refracted. Well, then it's not the geometric horizon, but we can only have one of them. It's just not the one in their model at that point.
I agree with that. I'm just within their rhetoric, when they're arguing two horizons. Obviously they're saying, "Oh, there's a horizon we can't see." So, but when they're saying that, actually they're referring to a geometric edge. So, I mean, to come then and say, "Oh no, but you're saying a horizon, but a horizon is something that you can see." Well, I mean, it doesn't seem to be right to say that, because precisely they're saying, "Well, we don't see it."
Try to remember though where they
Hold on a second. Square that circle for me. What's a horizon that we can't see? What does that look like?
No, it's absurd.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, look, if we did have some proof, look, I mean, the only way it would work if they had some kind of proof, I don't know, radar or some infrared or something that would show that despite what you see, there is you were able to find or to demonstrate that there is another edge that is inconsistent with what we see. Well, in that case, it would be possible. So you would have an edge. I mean, I'm not saying that happened. This never, I'm not saying anyone was able to do that, but their rhetoric would stand in that case. The only thing is that they've never seen it. They've never been able to demonstrate it.
Yeah, but
not
when did that start though? Right? When did that rhetoric of we've never been able to see it start? It started with the Black Swan, because before they used to argue that the geometric horizon, they used to call that the curve. Right? Let's remember that. They used to say boats are going over the curve of the earth. That used to be their geometric horizon. Before this argument, and we show them a horizon that can where it's supposed to be in their mind. And then all of a sudden they started saying, "Oh, we have two horizons, or there's another horizon, the one that we're supposed to see, the one that it's the limitation of our model. Oh, you can't see that one, because now the one that we do see, which is past the second platform, that's a model. Now that's the horizon, which is obviously redundant because horizon is apparent by definition, right? So it's not until this argument that they have now started to revert to our argument and saying the horizon is just an apparent location, right? That started with this. And they now argue our points, which is the horizon is apparent.
Wait, you
Yeah,
just said that? Did he just say the horizon was classified as a location? They're referring to it as a location.
Yeah, geometric location.
But for it to have a geometric
spherical
location
ball.
means that there's a fixed point at which it begins, continues, and ends. But
Yeah.
if you go out to the horizon right now, you keep. At what point are you going to stop?
Exactly.
At what point are you going to get to the origin?
No.
Yeah.
No.
That doesn't
So
make any sense. There is no fixed. There is no location for the horizon.
there is.
Is
One
there?
point. I'm trying to answer you. You keep asking the question. Yeah. 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, based on their claim of the physical size of the sphere we're supposed to be standing on. So while you're saying, yeah, you can't get to it, it's an apparent position, you're correct. But the physical demarcation point for their globe horizon is very much a physical edge, the point at which on a sphere you cannot see beyond. Now, while you're correct, you can't travel to it, you can qualify it mathematically with the following spherical assertion. The distance to horizon on a sphere can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's just their geometry. So what we've got to stop confusing, and Chocolate, you've just done this, but only because of a reaction to Moose Tone.
Oh, I'm vertically challenged then, because what you just explained, then I know why I'm vertically challenged.
It's my fault now.
There's no fault to attribute here, right?
No.
What Chocolate's done is he's defended the argument, and there's a position that's being asserted in terms of where the horizon actually should physically be. And beyond that justification that they have on their sphere, you know, you don't need to go into the weeds of anything else beyond their demolition of their own geometry, because what the people say in response to this is basically irrelevant, because their ground level, trench level rhetoric is unimportant. It debunks the geometry. The geometry, Earth geometry, has been debunked. Full stop. The model's untenable. You can no longer trust in R. Now, their response to this, frankly, I couldn't care less about what the trench level fundies tell us. Oh, well, we don't see a geometric horizon. Well, that stands in direct violation of your claim of geometry. That's why it's game over globe at this point. So while you're right, Chocolate, yeah, what they'll say is, or they used to argue, well, they still do. The geometric claim to be proof of a sphere Earth is that geometry. That's why it's in the Earth. They haven't gone away. Those Earth curve calculators are still published, despite the fact they have, I'll say this as a fact, been debunked. Now, I couldn't care less what any fundy zealot who's at trench level tells me as a response with a hand wave. Their model's untenable. It is debunked, regardless of what anybody says. There is no way back.
I just enjoy listening to them fumble over themselves. That's my whole thing.
Okay, I just have one last point. Sorry, thanks, guys. But so has there been any case of real looming? So not the fake looming with with these mirage types, inferior miraging, but some actual looming with things really being above the horizon.
Depends on your definition of looming. So the definitions that were read out earlier has got an inconsistency when describing looming. Now, that's no coincidence that they've been claiming looming as a rebuttal for quite a while, but nevertheless, there's a definition of the false horizon that's created by a mirage of the sky below, as defined by Quantum Eraser, backed up by Mick West, I might add. But who's the guy in this regard with the looming definition, Quantum Eraser?
Andrew Thomas Young, subject matter expert.
Right, but he's incorrect when he describes looming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but my point is are there actual pictures of looming that are not inferior miraged?
No, because the inferior mirage is the sky.
Okay, so everything that they claim looming is actually has this inferior miraging effect.
They say looming as a catch-all blanket statement. It's not what looming actually is in terms of an atmospheric condition that you can observe and qualify. When they say looming, they're arbitrarily fudging or changing a radius value that's based on their model. So 7/6R, or terrestrial refraction, is what will be being utilized when they say something's looming, in quotes. It doesn't mean it meets the definition of looming in any way, shape, or form. It's just a word they use when they're going to change the value of 7/6 to something else and base it on the radius value. And that radius value, the point of this black swan argument, gives them a geometric horizon. So you can't base refraction of any description on the horizon that's based on R, because they don't have a geometric horizon anymore. Hence the whole model implodes. So when they say looming, you've got to kind of tie down what's being described as being looming. If it's the horizon, well, then that's a big fail. If it's something that's got a sky mirage below it to appear like it's actually hovering in midair, well, then that is looming, but they don't define it as that. They define it slightly differently. So looming is a very convoluted part of this particular atmospheric effect, and often not actually referring to the atmospheric effect of looming. Normally, it's actually in reference to 7/6 terrestrial refraction, and has been tied to that by Andrew Thomas Young.
Okay, so there's like an equivocation fallacy.
You know what?
Just
Nathan, go ahead.
It's not an equivocation, it's just an incorrect definition on their part, and then a misuse of a term that doesn't apply to terrestrial refraction.
Nathan,
Okay, but they're mixing up looming with terrestrial refraction, right? A real effect with a imaginary effect, right?
Mixing up an actual atmospheric effect that you can qualify, and they have, just incorrectly, with a terrestrial refraction effect, which is based on radius in geometrical terms. So yeah, they're convoluting two different things, and have presumably blurred the lines when they define looming for this very reason, because it's been hijacked in terminology.
You know,
Okay, now I was just wondering whether there was any other photographic evidence apart from those inferior miraging things for terrestrial refraction, but
that's exactly where I was just getting ready to go, based on what Nathan's been saying. Nathan, you now motivated me to conduct a real world experiment to use a mirrorless camera in the standard DSLR cameras, which have refractive and reflective lenses in them. I want to see if I can take a photo real time and zoom in on a horizon and see if I can get the same view and vision from a refractive reflective lens camera and a mirrorless camera. Because now what you're explaining to me, these cameras are the technology is based on how much light you can bring in, how much light you let in, its aperture. So if you're not using mirrors and lights bouncing in and out of this thing to give you the view beyond a visual eyeball horizon, and you can use a super telephoto lens to go even further, how would that compare to a mirrorless camera? Would you actually have the same view at this, having the same distance? You're not moving from your fixed point, but let's just say that camera has a rangefinder to tell you, hey, yeah, you're looking out this many meters with the mirrorless, but you're only looking out this many meters, standing in the same location with, a reflective lens camera.
Yeah,
That got me thinking of how the light could actually play with what we're actually seeing when people are using these cameras.
Stop,
you don't know if it's mirror or mirrorless.
Stop.
Are you related to Sperskimo?
Stop. Because that camera isn't going to make you see any further. Now, you may see more detail, but if you're on a sphere with a definite geometric radius, you ain't going to see further than that. Right? Hello?
The point what Nathan was talking about is that now I want to experiment to see is there going to be a difference between a mirrorless, a camera without mirrors installed in them, and a camera with mirrors installed, concave and convex and refractive lenses. So I want to see what the difference would be. If I'm standing in one specific location, one point, and you tell me, okay, Robert, there's a boat out there. It's not moving. You can't see it with your eye, but it's out there. Use the mirrorless camera. Let me know how far you're zooming in. Let me know what the adjustments are when you're zooming in. And now use the other camera and do the same thing to see, is there going to be a difference in distance?
Gotcha.
How much of the horizon you can see? Did you understand where I'm coming at with this?
Yeah,
I do. And there's a reason why you're thinking along those lines, but it completely conflicts with the Black Swan argument. But that's not a bad thing, because there's a reason. There is definitely a connection. What you're describing is calculable in the Rayleigh criterion. You're talking about diffraction limits, which is part of, not the be all and end all, but certainly a major factor in what actually gives us a horizon. So that's what you're describing. You're describing diffraction limits, i.e. the point where things are too small to see or resolvable, and that's dependent on aperture, amongst other things. But you can calculate it with the Rayleigh criterion. Now that's the real effect of what gives us a horizon, and not actual location. The point of the Black Swan is their assertion is that not actual location that can change depending on the size of your aperture, calculable with the Rayleigh criterion, is asserted to be physical, and therefore a physical obstruction based on your height at 1.2 times the square root of your actual height. Well, given that you've got a physicality, and that physicality gives you obstruction based on what will be beyond that physicality, and that's calculable in their geometric maths, you can debunk the claim that it's a physical edge with the Black Swan argument, to the point where their own side will tell you don't see a geometric horizon. In other words, we don't see Earth curve. When you paraphrase what they're saying, the thing that's claimed to prove Earth curve, boats are going over it, it curves at altitude, you can see it looking like a ball from space, and buildings in the distance are blocked by it. Well, that's its physical geometry. And what you're saying is, hang on, well, what we actually see is based on optics. And there's going to be things that can change where the horizon will be. Yeah, absolutely. That's our argument. That is the flat Earth argument. We're not dealing with geometry. We're dealing with optics. Well, their rebuttal to us debunking their geometry is to say, well, it's optics. It's like, yeah, that's our argument. But they've only got one cause. Why is the building in the distance blocked? That's what they're asking. So they force you into this frame of mind where it's a physical obstruction blocking stuff. You're never even contemplating the idea that there's a diffraction limit, that there's an angular limitation to the bottom of the building in the distance that will cause the bottom to vanish first. None of those things are considered. The globe assertion is one cause. The globe got in the way physically, and that's it. No other cause is asserted. So they've got a physical sphere edge. And what do you know, Robert? We get tasked, or you will certainly know this from day one. Where's the edge? What's that? I haven't got an edge. I don't reify a model. Why are you asking me for an edge? Well, because their edge is the linchpin to their religion, because it's physical and geometric. And if it's physical and geometric, as claimed by their geometric physical model, claiming we're physically on a sphere, then you can't be beyond 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, because once you are, it stops being geometric. And if it stops being geometric, you've no longer got a claim proof of Earth's sphericity. And then it's just the wondrous world of what the horizon might be, and the investigation into what it is beyond their single claim of Earth curve. Now, Earth curve is just the geometric horizon. So when they claim Earth curve and they're not using pictures from a second law of thermodynamics violation, their only claim is that the geometry and physicality of Earth is borne out in these mathematics when comparing them to optically based pictures. So our argument is no, it's optical, it's the diffraction limit, it's the atmospheric conditions. They've got around the atmosphere by using terrestrial refraction and just turning atmospheric conditions into mathematics and geometry based on R. But their R always gives them, and it's their claim and their religion's based on it, a physical geometric horizon. Once they decry it, it's because it's debunked. So saying, oh, we don't see it, well, that doesn't get around the fact that we don't see it, because that's where your model goes bye-bye. So it's not a...
Well, the interesting about this...
He's a beautiful bastard, isn't he, Robert?
Yeah, he is. He is. The one thing that you and I talked about, John, the other day was this: is that how we were agreeing on, the problem with mathematics, because as Nathan says, the mathematics that they use to justify a spherical model is only based on, and this is where this guy Flat Earth Math, probably he should have came in and we'd have roasted him for this, is that they're only going to 2, maybe 3 standard figures. Okay, those 2 to 3 standard figures are either rounded up or rounded down. But what they don't tell us, and what they're not telling any kids in school who are studying mathematics, is that what they're putting into a computer and what they're trying to tell you, okay, not even Einstein, Werner von Heisenberg, Max Planck, they couldn't calculate beyond a specific number of standard figures. They could go maybe 9, 10, 11, 13 numbers. Fermat did this same thing, to create Fermat's theory. But these guys spent months, years doing the mathematics on paper. And to this very day, they have 4 supercomputers on this earth still trying to find out what the final number of pi is. So if you say, oh, well, pi is 3.14, I'm going to tell you, no, it's not pi. It does not represent the equation, the mathematical equation you use to find the circumference of a circle. Because if you don't go by the rule, and I can't even find out, when I studied mathematics, okay, to get my degree on the undergraduate level, and then I'm graduate level, still asking this question to professors, wait a minute, where did the standard figure rule come from? Who created that? Who says that I have to use just 2 or 3 or 4 numbers, or round it up or down 2 or 3 4? What if I were to use the full number? And when they look at me and they're like, really? Good luck. What do you mean, good luck? Because the number you're giving me does not represent what I would use to calculate the circumference of a sphere. Because really, the real number goes way beyond that. So I can't go from my point A to John point B, because I'll never get to B. That's Zeno's paradox. You're always halfway. You never really get there.
Yeah. I got you, Robert. Listen, we're going to have to wrap things up. I see. Sorry about that, Robert. We could talk about it in the after show. But Zanuck is sitting in here. He is a baller. He's been waiting patiently. And let's go ahead. I'm going to wrap it up after Zanuck. Go ahead and let him put out whether comments, whatever he's got. All right? We good? Zanuck, you are off mute, sir. Go ahead. Zanuck, going once, going twice.
He probably fell asleep behind the keyboard.
All right, that's it. Betty.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Any admin?
What do you want?
What do I want? Any admin to wind up the show with?
Yeah, we got a couple of super chats from Flat Earth Data. He says, best question ever. What caused the apparent junction or convergence of the sky and ground, Earth curvature or eyesight?
Ooh,
and I think that we
Nathan.
still have that outstanding question.
Yes, sir. I got you, Flat Earth Data. Go ahead, finish up, Betty.
Okay, we got Rikia live, and he says, I'm not able to nest due to social distancing, so I vote for hours.
4 more hours. I got you, man. But I'm sitting here. I got a pizza sitting in front of me and about 6 wings and Q-y, likey wingies. Okay?
So no more 4 hours then, huh?
Maybe for a little bit longer, but I know Nathan wanted to deal with that question. Nathan?
Mm-hmm. I got one last. You got a sticker from Eagle Plane and Anchor, so he said thumbs up. So,
hey, thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate it, and I'll get back with you, sir. You know what I'm talking about. Nathan, do you want to deal with that question with Flat Earth Data?
It's a question to throw out there. I mean, it's what Flat Earth Data put to Tim Osman, just with comical results. So it's a way of turning a modus tollens logical consistency argument into an open-ended question. And I just thought it was quite clever. So, you're asking the fundie, is the horizon the sphere edge, or is it caused by your eyesight? What causes the horizon is a very good question if you're going to open up this black swan argument, because you've got the answer. The black swan is the answer, but it's just I've never heard it twisted back into a sort of a more open question. And for obviously people like Flat Earth Data, he obviously understands the argument implicitly to the point where he can demolish people with it. So he's toying with people now and just saying, well, how can I edge people into a conversation about this while making it into an open-ended question? He straps on the answers, admittedly, because he wants to rein in the control a little bit. But I just think keeping it as an open-ended question is a very trick way of getting people into the argument and getting them to assert what the horizon actually is, by phrasing it the way he does. So what causes the apparent junction between Earth and sky is a very good question. Their claim is that it's a physical sphere edge.
Not anymore.
Go ahead. Answer the question, guys. Arwen.
Me?
Yeah, I got you.
Question, Arwen, is what causes the apparent junction between Earth and sky?
It is the diffraction limit. It has to do with the nature of how light is resolved through the design of a lens. It's so complicated, but I can describe it at least. So
I'd
it's
say-
a combination of factors of resolution that can come through, and the result effectively is something that I've early on figured out a system for, and I call it the optical slant. So the effect causes like an apparent slant-like effect that you could mistake for some kind of curve, although it's more like a slant, like a corner that sort of appears to appear. But in actuality, it's all just optics covering things up after that point.
Then you answered the question, didn't he?
That's the root word right there. Optical.
If you want to expand on that slightly, you go, well, what is optics? Well, it's a combination of things in this regard. You're talking about perspective, which is all the things we've discussed in terms of your angle of attack, as it used to be called, or the effects of foreshortening. That would be your height versus the angle against the land that you're looking over, and your resolution limit based on the aperture of your camera. All of those things summarize perspective. That's the one word that sort of encompasses all of that. And atmospheric conditions. So those two things, optics. Definitely not geometry and physical Earth curve, though, eh?
Right. And foremostly, not some kind of orthographic view geometry, as they brought
That's
to
why
the
you call
table in the first place, remember?
That's why you call it the optical slant, because when you're describing this effective perspective, you're going to their world of Muppet vision, which is, for the audience's benefit, side-on view. You see the side of your own head and your target to remove all aspects of perspective. Well, Arwen sort of reverse engineered that back into describing perspective with what he called the optical slant, which, if you want, it's just a perspective view in Muppet vision, if that's not a contradiction in terms. But you know what I mean? That's how you were trying to describe it, right?
Well, it's not a geometric view, it's a descriptive view. So like a third person perspective on perspective, which is a technical impossibility, really. So it can only be descriptive.
Yeah, like I say, it's a contradiction in terms when you verbalize it, but you're just drawing the side of someone's head with two lines going up, meeting at a point, which is essentially the, if you like, vanishing point in side view. Obviously, when you're in side view, the target and observer are still equidistant, so you're not going to have any perspective effects, but you're trying to describe them. Yeah, it's a bastardization of what is actually perspective. But the point here is they've only got one thing to assert on the globe side. Their only claim is Earth curve. That's the only reason things disappear in the distance. That's what goes through the Earth curve calculator. It's all based on R. As soon as you destroy the geometric horizon, as the Black Swan does, that's the end of the geometric assertion, because they've only got one assertion. It's Earth curve. As soon as they appeal to optics, well, that's our argument.
Well, when Flat Earth Data asked that to Timmy should have went to a very popular list of things that can cause boats to disappear into the distance when they're all optical.
Yeah, he couldn't
And
answer that.
at some time that was a joke to us, like, oh look, these are all the reasons why flat earthers think that boats will disappear over the curve, right?
That's started, Chocolate. So Tim Osmond saying, I've got a full list of reasons that aren't Earth curve, all of the excuses for things that aren't Earth curve. In other words, he's asserting his single assertion of why things are getting or being obscured into the distance. That's only reason, Earth curve. And then he's got a massive list of all the things that we use as quote unquote excuses. And then he's asked the question, well, what causes the apparent junction between Earth and sky by flat Earth data? And his response is, I'm not answering that question.
Exactly.
You
should've
bet
went to
your
the
ass
list,
you're
Timmy.
not.
Oh,
Should've
that's
been running
hilarious.
around with the list. Been running around with that list,
I'm not
man. What
answering
happened?
that question. Oh, dude, that was classic.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have been there for that one, man. That is classic.
Published it. He's republished it. It's on Flat Earth. Just type in Flat Earth data, and it will bring you to the.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, Nathan, I think I might want to have you as a
what?
as a voiceover. I want his voice.
The top of the pops thing. Dun, 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 dun. Nah,
yeah. All right, quick.
No. The intro song is gonna be 9 inches. Cute like an animal.
Yeah, listen up, guys. It was a lot of fun. We got through to Trinity. It took a while, but that's okay. There was some good discussion. I'm satisfied with it. Quick final thoughts before we wrap up. Arwen.
Wow. Yeah, well, what hasn't been said, at this point is this seems like a full-blown condensed summary show of the hardcore points. It's how long have we been running now?
3 hours and 49 minutes.
Whoa. Okay, there you go.
4 more hours,
So,
baby.
4
Yeah.
more hours.
It's basically scraps at this point now. So, and yeah. Oh yeah, this is one remark that I want to make. Yeah, they like after all this, the loss of the geometrical curve. I bet you there's more of the ballers. They will go to swamps and try to find a picture the geometrical horizon because the moist conditions are higher and they'll be more likely to have to find more slants, more curvature.
Humid air is less dense, though.
Have you not seen the work of Soundly? Hello.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they will flock to the swampy areas.
Yeah,
ironically,
they'll come from under a rock. Thanks, Arwen. Appreciate it. Chocolate,
Drain
quickly.
the swamp.
Betty, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead, Betty.
I said drain the swamp.
Drain it. We already did. The Black Swan drained it. Chocolate, quickly.
I'll just say rest in peace to the magical spinning water ball in a vacuum. That's it. It's a wrap. Smoke if you got him.
Appreciate that, sir. Robert, thanks for coming, man. Quick final thoughts, sir.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get somebody on the phone to explain how a vacuum exists, just so I can embarrass them.
Well, tape it.
Yeah,
Get a video out.
this one's gonna be the law. I ain't gonna tape this one. It's gonna be a lot. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who I'm gonna go to.
Appreciate it, Robert. Glad to have you, sir. Betty, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I got some admin for you. Let's see what it says. It was Retro Bill, and it says, fantastic boys. Can't wait to listen to it again later. He wants to listen to it again for 4 hours.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think it's well worth it. Yeah. Anything
And
else?
all the while, in the background in my house, it's playing Star Trek. So that's silly, isn't it?
It's kind of ironic, right? Yeah. Irony's great. I love it.
The thing is
original
that
series?
I can't watch these movies anymore with any. Yeah.
Why not?
Understanding. Yeah,
Well,
it's the whole whole mystery is gone. We can't escape this Earth. We have to deal with it here, right?
Maybe we should devote some time to that psychological condition for the next Ballbusters.
The Stockholm syndrome on Earth.
It's not Stockholm.
Not Stockholm.
No, it's not the Stockholm syndrome. This is a completely different animal. That's okay.
What animals are we talking about then?
Yeah, they're strange animals. I'll tell you that much. Any more admin?
Black Swan. It's an animal. No, not yet. Let's see the last things. No.
Appreciate it,
But
Betty.
that's it.
Nathan,
Chewy,
take us.
just a question.
Oh, quickly.
Chewy, sorry. Have you already made or will you make a show on space time?
I've already dealt. Yeah, I've already dealt with many times with Einstein. Check my playlists for especially the science playlist or the pseudoscience playlist, and you'll find them. They're in there, sir.
Thanks.
Nathan, sir.
It's also covered extensively in anything that's got a gravity tag in the title, or
Yes.
that tends to have a space-time pummeled. So check it out. No, I'm gonna separate these into 3 individual videos. So if you're watching this and listening to this on Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, it'll be part 3 of the top 3. Obviously, Black Swan being number 1 on the list. Part 3 is going to be the number 1. That makes sense. But check out and share the other videos. Again, if you're watching this on Quantum Erasers channel with the full 4-hour video, be sure to share it. It's very important at the moment that I stress that to all the audience members. Please share these videos, be it my individual chunked out top 3 or the massive one. Make sure you do share it with somebody. If you typically don't, this is your time to do it, because at the moment our videos aren't reaching as big an audience for whatever reason. I'm not even going to go into speculating about why. It doesn't matter. It's just critically important that you share the show. So smash that share button. Massive thanks to everyone who smashed the super chat in Quantum Erasers channel. And if you're watching this on the re-up, thanks to you if you smashed my super chat. And yeah, massive shout out to Quantum Eraser. Excellent presentations in all 3. I know it's a bit longer than typical, but it's needed. As I said, all the way through the show, this is the top 3 for destroying the spinning ball space monkey religion. We've destroyed the spinning with Coriolis. We've destroyed the space with gas pressure without a container, and we've destroyed the Earth being a ball with the Black Swan. These are the best of the best. You've got to share it.
Last super chat is in. And the last super chat is from Leonardo Gonzalez, and he says, "Excellent show, guys."
Appreciate it, Leonardo. Thanks, Betty. Thanks to all the panel members and guests. Take the Trinity to their doorsteps. That is the spinning space monkeys, especially the higher ranking spinning space monkeys, and make them give account. Don't let them off the hook. If they can't, they're exposed. You've done your job well. See you next time, guys. Don't forget, this Tuesday, exposing an actual physics professor. It's going to be epic. Don't miss it. See you then.